just have a couple of questions.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Hear you. All right. Can you state your name and how long you've been here?
Yep. My name's Sawyer Stevens. I'm the head brewer here, and I've been here now for almost 2 years.
All right. So what brought you then to Lansing and getting involved in this company in particular?
Yeah, well, I think the opportunity to come to Lansing was pretty interesting because of the beer scene here. There not really being anything at that point, just 2 years ago. So coming here, I always thought that Lansing could sustain a brewery, and it's kind of the last frontier in Michigan where there's not really a beer culture. So it was exciting to kind of start from the ground floor and build that beer culture here. Great opportunity, so I was on board.
Great. So what is kind of the history? I know the name has been around for over 100 years. I know this recipe. Can we talk a little bit on
Yeah, so the original Lansing Brewing Company from 1898 to 1914, most of their beer and production was the amber cream ale. And since we didn't find the original recipe, so it's not the same recipe, but our amber cream ale, which is our best seller in the market and our second best seller here on site behind Angry Mayor, but we wanted to resurrect that beer as kind of a nod to the original brewery. And since that beer and the brewing scene in Lansing has history, not any recent history, but long ago in the early 1900s, we wanted to bring that back because it is a piece of Lansing. So to have that and brew it now is pretty awesome, and kind of think about what that beer would have tasted like back then, and then resurrect that recipe. So very cool to have that recipe in our portfolio, that beer in our portfolio, as a nod to that original brewery.
So how does one become a head brewer? What was kind of the process for you?
It's a good question. There's a lot of different ways. Myself, there's a lot of people that go to beer school now. There's beer school or fermentation science or biology, chemistry. There's different routes that people take. I actually went into business in college, and there's a brewery in Mount Pleasant. I went to CMU. There's a brewery in Mount Pleasant up there where I just started bottling and cellaring, and I just kind of worked my way up and wanted to see what it was like at a larger brewery, so I went to Bell's. After that, I was at Bell's in Kalamazoo, both at the production facility and the pub brewery, which is downtown Kalamazoo. And then Bell's in 2014 started Upperham Brewery in the UP in Escanaba. So I went up there to be the lead brewer, and then a year later I came here to be the head brewer. So I just kind of kept progressing up the ladder, but there's definitely different routes that people take to become a head brewer. That's my story.
Great. So was there one beer that kind of led you to this? What's your favorite beer to brew?
Okay. Yeah. So my favorite beer now, still, and one of the beers that led me to want to be in the craft brewing industry is Two Hearted. Bell's Two Hearted. Love that beer. And so still, IPAs, that being an IPAs are one of my favorite ones to brew because you get all those aromas in there, all the hop aromas, the nice flavors in the finished product itself. I also like brewing coffee beers, again, because of the aroma. Anything that creates a really nice aroma in the brewery are always fun to brew. I mean, every single beer is fun to brew. They're not all easy. I wouldn't say any of them are easy, some more than others, but yeah, the ones with good aromatics in the brewery, those are always fun to brew.
What's a beer you would want to see come back, or what would be like one that you would like to master and have here at Lansing?
Yeah, I think, I do like IPAs, like I said. Two Hearted's my favorite, but I think there's a lost art in lager brewing, pilsners. People think of lagers as just light yellow fizzy beer brewed by Anheuser-Busch and Miller Coors, but that's not the case. I mean, lagers and actual pilsners were a lot more hop forward than Americans think that they are, and they're difficult to brew. Lagers, there's a lot of things in a light lager where Beers can have off flavors, but in a light lager like a Pilsner, there's nothing to hide behind. So whenever I go to a brewery, I try their lightest beer first. If if it's good, if it's spot on, chances are the rest of their beers are spot on. Because like I said, lagers are not easy to brew, specifically the lighter ones. So it takes a lot of attention to detail, and I think mastering lager brewing helps you just become a better brewer in general. So I'd love to do a lot more lagers here. Try to at least keep on one lager at a time. But I think that really, progressing in lager brewing, like I said, helps you become a really good brewer. So that's what, something that I'd like to do personally, become a better brewer that way, but introducing lagers to people. And it's not just light yellow fizzy beer, it can be dark, it can be hoppy, so it goes along with the education of the industry in general.
So what would be your dream kind of for Lansing Brewing Company here, and seeing the beer scene grow in Lansing?
Yep.
What would that look like for you?
Here I'd like to just grow organically. So by the product that we make, really make good product, not rush anything, not grow just to grow, but grow because there's market demand there, because we make good product. So there's a lot of breweries now that start really big and they invest a lot of capital into wanting to distribute throughout the whole nation, or at least the region right away. We're not that way. We want to focus on Lansing outward, so we distribute in Lansing, and then we kind of want to keep growing out. We're not even throughout the whole state of Michigan yet, not even close. So we want to capture these markets and really get our beer into a lot of these places. But like I said, grow organically and really have a solid, consistent product out there that we're proud of. And I am, and I think we all are. But we want to keep doing that and keep making these beers really good and exposing people that aren't from Lansing to our beers. And I think that'll make us a legitimate player in the Michigan craft beer industry.
So can you walk me through an average day of brewing here?
Sure. Well, an average day, I guess, kind of relative, because every day is different, which is why I like the brewing industry, which is why I became a brewer. And I think I'm not going to speak for the brewers that we have, but I think they like to, the tasks change daily. So, like today we're doing 2 batches of amber cream, and tomorrow we're doing another batch of amber cream, and we're kegging beer. So it changes. Yesterday we kegged two tanks worth of beer, clean tanks, clean kegs. So every day is different, which always keeps you on your toes. It's fun, but it's all about planning out 3-4 weeks down the road. Planning is a huge part of it. So plan your tanks out when you're brewing, when you're packaging, keep things fresh at the pub, keep things fresh in the market. There's a lot of different things involved, especially at a small brewery. Everybody wears different hats, which is fun. You get to see a lot of different areas, from not just are we in the brewery, but also talking about marketing and sales and festivals and things like that. So it's fun, always something different. It's not the same thing every single day. So like I said, it always keeps you on your toes, which is fun. So
great. Is there anything else? Those are my big questions.
I don't think so. I mean, if nobody's been here, check us out, for real. I think the Lansing beer scene is young, but there's a lot of room to grow around here. Us, as well as just other craft breweries coming into Lansing. So hopefully people will decide to come to Lansing for beercations like they do Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo. But that's really what we want to do here, is make Lansing legitimate in craft beer. Not just us, Lansing Brewing Company, but hopefully more breweries follow in the city here. So it'd be great. That's what we want.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.